As Mercedes made the best electric G-Wagon, we got the all-new 2025 Mercedes-Benz G580 with EQ technology, with range at nearly 240 miles, 859 pound-feet of torque out of this box. So now we have an electric variant that gets a full charge at a level 2 in 14 hours, and we have the off-road capabilities of a G-Wagon. But is it worth it? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm gonna go over some pros and cons to see what the G-Wagon with EQ technology brings. This year we get a refresh for the headlights, the grille, the bumper. To get this badging that's blacked out, you gotta spend a little bit of money. So one thing that's good about Mercedes is you can kind of tailor the vehicle, especially when you get into the G-Class. Unfortunately, does not have a front, but you can pull the cover up and that reveals the battery capacity of 122. You're getting 579 horsepower combined and 859 pound-feet of torque, reaching 60 at 4.6 seconds. This thing is like a yacht on wheels. LED headlights, daytime runnings, the lower keeps the off-roadsy look. And this night black on black has a different essence to it. Charging on a DC charge from 10 to 80% is going to take about 32 minutes. 20-inch AMG 10-spoke wheels. The fenders flare out. And I like the retro design because it's taking it back to the 70s, which is the heritage of the G-Wagon. And if you look at the top, it actually goes all the way to the rear and gives you a touch of a spoiler in the back. So they're just giving a little bit more of an essence to the vehicle, and yet there isn't really anything that can compete with this box on wheels, especially with performance numbers and off-road capabilities. Paired to a 2-speed automatic transmission, achieving 68 mpges for the city, 56 mpges for the highway. So when you are putting all this into content, you now have a G-Wagon that's electrified. But is it worth purchasing this over, say, a G63? This is gonna have 232 pound-feet of torque more, 2 horsepower more, and the MSRP, you'll save a few grand, but towing is over 7,700 pounds there, which this Mercedes doesn't recommend you tow, which is why I would probably skip it. But if I'm looking for an all-electric variant, this is by far one of the most capable vehicles, except for the towing capabilities. LED taillights, the box comes into the rear with a large window, front and rear parking sensors, and a 360-degree reverse camera. As long as you don't spec this vehicle up to over 200 grand, I think it's worth it. Around 180, 190, it's not a bad threshold, especially if you're looking for an electric variant, something that will save you money on taxes, and you still have a G-Wagon. Check this out, because we don't get a front, push this, and you get a little storage area here. Get storage net on both sides. I think this is cool because you think it's your spare tire. It's not. Opening to 34.8 cubic feet of storage. Even though it sits up high, it has an easy entrance to it. Moving the privacy cover, push it down. Bag holders are going to be exposed on both sides. 12 volt. There's no storage underneath the floor either, but you get this little net here so you can put some storage. You have a pass-through. You can split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split. You will have a little bit of a lip here, but it's going to maximize the cargo capacity. And one thing to note is you can fold these 2 different ways. So I have it folded this way where you pick up the seat and you fold this inwards to have the flat fold. Or you just pull the tab here and you can fold it down, but it's not going to fold down flat. In either case, you'll still have a little bit of an opening. The key fob to the G580 with EQ technology. Heated front seats is standard, as well as power seats. Ventilated is an option. Napa leather is an option. You can do a lot of different configurations with the stitchwork, memory for the driver and passenger. There isn't any grab handle here, so you kind of have to balance yourself to get in because it's a larger vehicle. The interior is going to have the carbon fiber grab handle, circular air vents. It's not really a driver-focused setup, and I like the Jeep stance that comes into play. Upgraded headliner, auto-dimming rear view mirror, and now you'll get the LED interior lights. Let's fire it up. Two 11.6-inch displays. On the center, you'll have your navigation with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. You have your different media settings, your off-road page, which does have the pitch and roll. And you can stream video, you could browse the web. Going into the comfort, this is going to be for the massage seats. Ambient lighting, that's going to be standard with 64 different colors. And what I like about the massage seats in Mercedes and BMWs and Audi is you have a ton of different positions that you can go through, and it literally will massage like the whole body. Here, you're seeing where it's massaging. The circular air vents come into play. Flip it into reverse. You get a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory. I just wish it covered up the whole screen. Tri-climate control settings is standard, and you still have physical buttons, so I like how they do that with the carbon fiber. This opens up to a wireless charger, 2 USB-C ports, heated cup holders, and you have your touchpad here for the infotainment screen. Driving mode select, you have a lot of different driving modes here. And the cool thing about this is even though it's an EV, you still have the exhaust sound that comes in. It's going to be sporty, it's to be expected. It's about a medium-sized storage pocket with card holders and another USB port. The steering wheel, flat bottom, perforated on the side, multi-function, you know the drill. This is for the digital gauge reader that can go through an array of different content. On this side, when you click over here, that will be for this side here. And I just like how intuitive everything is. For the regenerative braking, that's what the paddle shifts is for. Leg space is going to be more than enough. Headroom. That's what I like about these off-road vehicles. You get a moonroof, door panel and dash, configure it together nicely. The grab handle gets a nice little grip to it. The carbon fiber comes into play, Burmaster sound system, and a deep storage pocket. This is the most sealed vehicle. You literally have to slam the door. For the back seat, this is the opening that you had to fit 2 more with the cup holders and armrests down. Third climate control, circular air vents, 2 USB-C ports, and a 12-volt charger with storage behind both of the front seats. The door is going to have the same segment as the front, except it's going to be a little bit smaller of a storage box, but it's still deep. You don't have any grab handle here. You do have one right here. Air vents on the side. And that's the leg space that you're going to have sitting behind me. The seats contour inward, so it does make it a little bit easier for putting occupants in the back, and headroom is more than generous. Sliding into the center, the floor is more or less flat, so you're not going to have a huge problem there. Can you fit 3 adults at 6'3", my dimensions? Yes. I have my own space, my own headroom. It's carved out for me here, as you're noticing, and even the knee and leg space is not going to be an issue, although I will be covering the charging and the third climate control. The all-electric G580 with 579 horsepower, 859 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60, 4.6 seconds. And I can definitely vouch for that. It's quick. Now, when you're putting this in perspective, this thing weighs nearly 7,000 pounds. That is pretty insane that you're getting those quick times. Super quiet in the interior. You don't feel any of the imperfections. Refreshed on the exterior. Updated technology. It's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, if you're looking for an all-electric vehicle, by far, this is one that kind of surpasses. Some pros is when you're taking some bends in the road, it actually pushes air into the seat on the bolstering area to keep you planted similar to an S-Class, so you're not moving around. Now, it's not a 50-50 weight distribution type of car, and you're not going to be taking this on the track, but it's nice that you still have those capabilities. Maneuverability, the steering, it has some weight to it. I appreciate that. It's a rugged vehicle. You want that. The regenerative braking really works well with the one pedal. I mean, I'm not pushing the brake at all, and I'm recouping MPGEs this way and charging the battery very lightly. Some cons is you do have to add a lot of features to this vehicle, which will take this over $200,000 pretty quick. And then it becomes the question, like we've been stating this whole review, is it worth it? Once you start getting into the $200,000 price point, I would look or cross shop with the G63. Yes, you're gonna lose 2 horsepower opposed to this and 232 pound-feet of torque opposed to this, but you're gonna gain that towing capacity. You're gonna get a better payload, and it's a gas variant, bi-turbo V8 handcrafted. Let's rock and roll. This thing will get you a speeding ticket, and if you turn that sound off, you will definitely get a speeding ticket, because what happens while you're driving, it sounds like there's an exhaust that filters in through the cabin. I appreciate that, especially how smooth it is too, because in the older generation G-Wagon, they used to drive like a truck. Now they're just so smooth, it doesn't matter whether you go EV or not. They just really have altered the suspension, and the whole interior, just the touch to feel, is a lot better. And whether you mash on the gas or mash on the brake, it doesn't feel heavy. So when you're considering near 7,000 pounds, and you can still maneuver in and out, it still has that off-roady presence with the steering wheel, but you have the upscale luxury in the interior. These are all definitely pros. The cons that I have is some of the components doesn't feel as expensive as it should for the price tag. I do like how they offset it with the carbon fiber. I just wish that there was a little bit more leather found throughout the interior of the cabin, but that's really just nitpicking, because when you're going this route, you are looking for something that is more off-roadsy. So they nailed that. And they go a step above because of how smooth the suspension and drive is. It has a nice sound system. It still feels sporty. And even though it's a large vehicle and it's wide, it doesn't feel like that when you drive, especially when you push the gas pedal. It's really just engaged. So it does make it easy to drive. I have to say, the best part about these vehicles, though, is the torque. I mean, it is insane what you're getting as a package. Quick, off the line, you're not gonna feel any hesitation. This thing is just ready to rock and roll at any given time. So it's keeping true to the essence of the G-Wagon, but making it electrified. Is it worth getting? If I'm looking for a full EV and I'm around a 200 grand price point, I think it is. But because it's missing some of the components to make it a true G-Wagon, it may give me a reason to hold off. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video.